Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bay, the #1 source for competitive Legends of Runeterra news and information. If you're looking for the best decks to play right now, be sure to check us out on Twitter at Master Runeterra or in our Discord. And if you want to take the next step in leveling up your game, check out our Runeterra team on Patreon, where we do weekly learning calls and one-on-one coaching. Now strap in and grab yourself some Poro snacks, because we are about to start Mastering Runeterra.
Welcome everyone to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bay. We've got a fantastic show for you guys today. Lots of stuff to go over. We got an old patch, we got a new patch, we got decks, we got tournaments. Man, where to even begin? Bay, where do you want to start?
Probably ladder. Just kind of be like, hey, this is what I've been playing kind of stuff.
Let's do that.
Right?
Sure. Yeah, ladder's an interesting one. I've been playing a lot more ladder this patch season even than I have in a while, especially since the new patch dropped. I ran up to like whatever the front page, like 600 something LP, playing.
You had a lot.
Yeah, Riven Victor. So this is something I wanted to bring up. Do you think there's ladder climbing is not as easy as people think. There's like tricks of the trade. Like it's well known amongst players that if you play late at night, we're talking like midnight to 4 a.m. Pacific, if you're in Americas, you might have a much easier time climbing. And I've seen this in the last couple of weeks or week or whatever. I was trying to play on like Friday, Saturday, maybe even Sunday, Friday, Saturday, definitely. And it was like, top 10 player, top 10 player, top 20 player, top like seasonal winner, like, because everyone's on, right? Everyone's free. Everyone's, doing their thing, whatever they want to do. And they're not working. And it's a lot harder to get that 60. What do you need? 60 something percent or like 57,
like 60 plus percent
yeah,
win rate.
It's a lot more difficult to get that win rate against the best players on the planet than it is against just anyone else, right?
That is true. So
that was one thing. And the other thing is the meta is different. So that also that those off hours, people that are lower in the Masters tier, they're trying stuff out. They're learning different decks.
Playing stuff. Yeah, playing stuff. You're not playing against the best 2-3 decks over and over.
If you're at the top, no one's screwing around, And that's another thing with so basically what happens is I ran up and then all I was playing against was stuff like Pantheon, Fizz Lulu, Yordle in Arms, and Aphelios. And all three of those were pretty rough matchups for Riven Victor. And so all of a sudden I was like, oh, this is not where I wanted to be. So I started experimenting. I was trying all the different decks. Now I've fallen down to like 350 LP, as you do, which makes me also realize that you need to protect. You really need to protect your LP, because early in the season I did that too. I ran up to 400, like down to 0, and then back up to like 650. And so I think for the rest of the season, I'm definitely gonna be like very strategic about it. I've started to play on my Smurf. I've been streaming this week.
Yeah, that's the trick.
I've been streaming on the Smurf, but when I want to try out a new deck, I want to know immediately if it's good, And so I need to get that Smurf up to Masters ASAP, so that I'm getting that that real testing in. And so I've tried everything now. I tried Drizzofs. If anyone's not seen this, it's
Drizzop, the Fizz
Aphelios. And I went on a bit of a tear.
Aphelios.
Yeah, I don't know. I've thought of that. And that was pretty good. I tried the Lee Sin Victor deck. Yeah, not bad. I've been playing some Darkness lately, and I was beating some people up real bad, and all of a sudden I ran into some Mono Stream a couple times in a row. Because again, when I was playing during like kind of prime time, people were playing those top meta decks that like Darkness is really good into. Not that Mono Stream, but it's kind of fallen off a little bit amongst the top players, quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so then I'm playing late at night. Guess what? People want to try that Mono Stream out, baby. I'm like, oh no, maybe it's not where it's at. So it also depends, where your ranking is at, kind of like who you end up getting paired against. So now that I'm back like in the middle of the pack more, I'm getting more of like a wide range of things. And I think I'm actually just going to go all the way back to Riven Victor until I start seeing a bunch of like Aphelios. I haven't seen Aphelios for not Aphelios. I haven't seen Pantheon in a hot minute. Like it was everywhere for a couple days, and then now I haven't seen it in like days, matches and matches and matches. And then also Fizz Lulu has dropped off a lot. I haven't seen a lot of Fizz Lulu either. It's been a lot of Aphelios, a lot of weird control stuff, a lot of Ionia, PNZ, everything. Mono Shrima a little bit. The Lee Sin deck, a lot of like people just trying out all kinds of stuff, which is great, which is fantastic. A lot of Drumble, Draven Rumble or whatever, Victor Rumble or a lot of Rumble stuff.
I've seen some Rumble decks. I don't think I've lost to them.
Yeah.
But like it's pretty easy with the Aphelios. I feel like you just gain life back.
Aphelios is pretty good. Yeah. Kill some stuff, stun some stuff, gain some life. So that's in a nutshell kind of like my experience and sort of like where I'm at, what I'm thinking. It's tough though. It is tough out there with everything being kinda like everything has good and bad matchups, right? With the format being so wide open. It's tough, especially again when you get to the top. There's a lot of metagaming. Have you noticed that when you're playing against like the top players, like they'll like people start switching decks in and out because they know they're getting paired against the same people quite often, and the metagame shifts a lot more. I feel like so. I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm figuring out. It's gonna be interesting this season as I like try to climb the ladder. What do you got going
on? I've been playing a lot of stuff. I put quite a bit of time into various Aphelios strategies. It's like Aphelios week on my YouTube channel.
Nice.
So I played basically all of them. The ones I had success with were the new PNZ one with Vi, no Victor.
No Victor.
That was like no Victor.
Okay.
Yeah. I do not think you want Victor in your
Zoe?
Aphelios PNZ deck. I think he's one Zoe, two Vi.
One Zoe, two Vi. Okay.
You could run one Victor, two Vi, but like you want two Vi.
I like Zoe. I'm a Zoe lover.
And then Sump Dredger's been doing actually quite well in that deck.
I've always loved Sump Dredger. It's one of my favorite cards.
I like drawing cards, but like back when Zoe Vi was popular, like Sump Dredger was just a card we ended up cutting because it just wasn't good enough. And now it's doing a little bit more. Like the stat line's pretty good. And you need the card draw bit. So I'm playing a bunch of that. I like the Noxus Aphelios deck. That was fun with like the Stun Spiders and Phlox and Scorched and stuff and the two Farons up top. Yeah. Really enjoyed that one.
Do you think it's good though? I feel like I beat that one a lot, whereas I struggle more against the PNZ one. But I've been playing specifically like, I'm talking like when I was playing Riven Victor or whatever, and that's kind of why.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed good. I kept winning with it.
Okay, keep going.
But maybe not. I think having Faron like simplifies your. It lets you end the game like 2 turns earlier, which is really good.
Nice. Yeah.
I would say like 30% of my games with that deck, I would go Faron, Severum. like literally like 30% of my games.
That's a lot.
And that was pretty good. Yeah. So yeah, I've been playing those. There's a bunch of Aphelios decks. They're all fun. Some of them are really good. And then the other decks I've been playing.
So Aphelios is like the one archetype that I haven't played a lot of. And so I'm interested. So some of them are really good, some of them are bad. I want all the thoughts. Like where should people be? What should people be trying and playing? What do you think is actually good? Tier 1, and then what's like poo and like get rid of that.
If you want the best Aphelios deck, it's probably the PNZ Aphelios with Vi.
Okay.
Right now. Yeah. The problem is like these Aphelios decks, they're able to build very reactive, right?
Right.
To the meta. And so what's the best next week will likely change. The one that I think is like pretty sleeper is mono Aphelio, like mono Targon, but it's splashing Quicksand. And it's full Zoe Aphelios. I think that one's pretty sleeper. I think like once we lose, like if Mono Shrima falls off, which I expect it to continue to kind of fall off ladder, I expect this version to be very good because Quicksand's like incredibly powerful. It's just a souped up Hush, right? And then it's good into the Aphelios Mirrors because you just go bigger, right? You're like, yeah, sick Mystic Shot. Here's another Mountain Scryer, right? Like you just that's usually when I'm casting like, yeah, I'm casting multiple cosmic inspirations like a game.
That's absurd.
Which is just my happy place.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that one's like really good in the Aphelios Mirrors.
What's the other champ?
I really like that one.
Aphelios what?
Zoe.
Okay.
3 Zoes.
Gotcha.
And you run like the full 3 Pale Cascades. You run like a Guiding Touch, like a Sunblessed Vigor, and a couple of the We Stand Togethers.
That's
the
good.
3 mana burst, give 2 things +1/+2. It's quite good. Yeah, so like you're able to flip Zoe pretty easily, especially because you get so many looks at Moonglow. And with your like We Stand Togethers and Sunless Figures and Pale Cascades, usually you go Moonglow and then they respond and then you pump Zoe. And then if Moonglow resolves, you just like win the game. you're just gonna flip Zoe. And this deck does that pretty well.
And so, other than Mono Shurima, are there any other matchups that it struggles against?
I don't know. Like, I've struggled against some stuff. Like, I kept losing to the I lost a couple in a row to the Victor Lee, but I didn't see any of my 3 quicksands in like the 2 games I played, and I was like, that seems like a pretty easy way to win the game, to just draw the quicksand.
I mean, that's an important point though. So many times I'm like, hey, what about this deck or this deck, whatever it is, Overwhelm, something, Fizz TF, something with elusives, and everyone's just like, oh, quicksand though, quicksand. It's like, yeah, they get to play 3 at the max, and guess what? They still have to draw it. And then they still might have to have more of them. You're not just like, oh, they quicksand one of my guys. Oh, just cards, fucking cogwheel, next game. Like, no, maybe you play another guy, or maybe that guy didn't die, or like maybe they just didn't have the quicksand. Maybe they had interaction back and they like stunned your thing or gave it spell shield, or like, there's lots of things. And so I don't know. I hear that all the time when people are talking about decks. So just if you're thinking about a deck, and you're like, oh, quicksand, just try the freaking deck. Just try it. That's the best way to find it. Okay.
Yeah, like look at Riven Victor, right?
Yeah.
Like quicksand was
it should crush
popular in that deck. Curb stomp people.
Yeah. Mono is it's like bread and butter.
Yep. So yeah, I like that deck a lot. Time will tell. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
Outside of Aphelios,
okay, I want to know more. The P&Z version, how good is it? Is it tier 1?
Yes.
Why isn't it like crushing more? What's the deal? Because like
people are not playing the right list.
Okay.
And people suck at it.
Okay. Those are very legitimate.
It plays very similarly to Zoe Vi of the past, which was like a very difficult deck until you really got your reps in, because it's like
fine line.
It's not the most mechanically difficult, if that makes sense. I don't think like mechanics quite works in card game sense, but like
it's like a theory thing, right?
It's the micro's not hard, the macro's hard.
Yeah.
Because you have to know when it's time to take the trickster and start beating for damage, right? Or like when you need to play to your get excited outs, and it's kind of like
everything,
because it feels like you look at your hand and it feels like a control deck, but like it's not.
No. It's
more of a tempo deck with a burn finish.
It's like it's like flying a kite or something. Like you just have the game on a string. And you just have to do everything perfectly. It's like you got it. You're good to go. But as soon as you fuck it up, it's like, nah, your kite's gone. And you're like, the whole thing falls apart.
Crash into the ground. That's what P&Z Aphelios feels like. Yeah. Now Aphelios, like the raw power of Aphelios, definitely like insulates you a bit. It helps. Sure. But yeah, it's gonna take people, I think, a while to get accustomed.
If you wanted to make a push up the ladder, is that the deck you'd be playing?
Probably. Yeah. Probably.
That's not very convincing. I want this is the business. This deck is so cracked. I'm gonna go like run up. I'm gonna go Drizzoth up the ladder, or Lee Victor up the ladder with these crazies. That's what I want. I don't want it's pretty good.
I'm gonna get to those in a second.
Okay,
but probably P&Z Aphelios. You just have like the most even matchup spread. If you play the Boom Baboon version, which is like you're conceding a lot of points in the Aphelios mirrors and stuff, but you start beating Mono Shurima. I don't know if that's if that's what people want, then there you go.
Seems pretty good to me.
Yep, you cut like Solari Priestess.
Ooh.
And you have like 3 bots, 3 Boom Baboons, 2 goats, 3 Sump Dredgers, and you just like whoop ass.
That makes sense.
Like 7 burn spells.
That makes sense. Yeah.
With the Poro Cannons. There was a version, actually I used to play a Zoe Aphelios deck when Aphelios was nerfed. That was basically that, and it ran people over because you just going Dustbringer, Boom Baboon, Zoe, Spacey Sketcher, discard the Flame Chompers, grab Chomper, attack you for a
It's
billion,
like
right?
it's like an aggro deck, but instead of being a burn aggro deck, it's like a value aggro deck. It's like you're just throwing value and aggression at them so quickly that they like can't keep up. I guess it's tempo.
Yep. So there's that. It's tempo. Sorry, all the Starbucks were closed in my area. So I'm yawning today. But the other Aphelios deck I tried was the Drizzoth pile, the Aphelios, which is fine, I guess.
It is so strange.
I played like 20 games with it. It's weird. It's like a Fae deck, right? With like the Lantern and the Grandfather Fae or whatever. And the it plays the Librarian. It's the best Librarian deck. The 2-mana Fated guy,
which is
draws a spell.
Yeah, but the spells in the deck fucking suck. So like, and you don't have particularly good ways.
Pale Cascade and
particularly good ways to pump
and
him.
Pokey Stick. Those are good cards. Yeah, Aphelios guns.
You get Aphelios guns?
Yeah.
How?
It's Fizz Aphelios. Yeah, you just Infernum it like every game. Yeah, it's.
Okay. Yeah. I see what you meant. I thought you meant like you hit them and you get to draw Aphelios guns. I was like, what?
Oh, no.
I see.
You just slap Infernum on that bad boy. Also, it plays a couple of the Bestow attached creatures. I don't remember what they're called. Bestow's the magic term, I think.
Papercraft Dragon.
And
I
so
know that one.
Yeah, Papercraft Dragon, like 1, and then 2 of the Elusive Fish. You just put the Elusive Fish on them. But it actually plays more because you have 3 copies of Fae Sprout.
Yeah.
I think that card's called. The 1-mana burst. So you just find them. Usually that's what I end up taking. Is just one of those creatures. And then bloop. And yeah, I mean, the deck's fine. It has like a value engine. I found myself getting absolutely stonewalled by anything that can like block my owls.
Yep.
And then just go, oh, that's pretty good. And then I would lose the game.
Yeah, or if you
like, I have a positive win rate with it. It's just,
or if you don't have a 3-mana 3/3 Fae that makes everything cheap, it's like the deck is real fair. It's like you're playing one thing.
You're playing a super fair
deck.
Like
one thing a turn or like 2 really cheap things a turn. It's like compared to when you have the I forget what he's called, but the accelerator guy, you're just like
the Lantern.
You're just playing out shit like you're playing like 4 spells and 5 spells a turn or something ridiculous.
It's pretty gross because you go like Lantern, Grandfather Fae, and then you're like, okay, my turn. Okay, well, I get a free Fae, so I'm gonna play this Librarian that's not a 3/2, and it was free, so I'm gonna play Aphelios with Nightfall, and then I'm gonna play Infernum, right, on my Librarian that I just played.
You can put your Owlcat in there too.
Yeah.
3/1 spell shielded 1-mana Owlcat.
Yep, you start like blowing people out like that. But yeah, I don't know. The deck's like, it's fine. I have a positive win rate with it. It's okay. I don't think it's the best Aphelios deck.
I think it could be better though.
Yeah, it could probably be better.
There's a lot of just kind of like random cards in there.
Yeah.
You can place a
lot of the random cards are
2
good,
copies of the 2/1 that creates the +0/+1 or +1. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that card's pretty bad. Yordle Squire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. But yeah, right now I'm not a huge fan of it. It's fine. I played it. I climbed with it, and then I dropped it.
I mean, here's the thing though, right? Like if you're having a positive win rate, like Drizzoth went on a tear with it. I wonder how he's been doing recently. I mean, there's something going on there, right? There's definitely something.
Yeah. No, it's a real deck
happening. Yeah.
It's a real deck. It's just like if great players are having good results, you discount them.
Sure.
Right.
Yep.
Drizzoth is a player with a history of very good results with decks that have a ton of options. I'm thinking like all the TF Nami, TF Fizz type stuff, right? That's like his bread and butter. All these piles of spells and small units. And this is just right up his alley. So
sure. I mean, I also just picked it up and started crushing people to the point where it was like 12 o'clock or like 1 a.m. or something. And I was like, do I just need to like pull an all-nighter here and just like put in some fucking work? Because I was like, I don't know.
You were winning that
I was
much?
like, I was just hammering people too. Like I was playing against like Draven Rumble and I was like, I would kill them on turn 5. Like, haha, like that's cute. Like, I'd be like 18 life. I'd like blow them out of the water.
I was not winning that hard.
Yeah, I was smashing people. And then I started not drawing the Lantern. I was like, oh. Or people started just I like no Lantern, no Aphelios. It was just like, how do you ever win?
Oh,
like
you don't. Your cards suck.
Your cards suck. It's got a bunch of like 2/2s and 3/3s. You'll have 6 of them constantly,
Yeah.
but like they don't do much.
Looks like I have a 70% win rate with the deck.
How many?
So
matches?
good. 10.
Yeah.
7 of 10 on that version. I think I was playing a different version too. It's fine. It's fine.
I started getting I started trying to make Yordle's arms happen with it because I kept going so wide all the time.
Yeah. You don't play enough regions.
Yeah, so I had to switch it up. I put like some telescopes and was gonna try some like like the 3/2 guy that makes a landmark.
Bomber twins.
But yeah.
Just to try to hit it.
Yeah, it's like I don't know.
Yeah, it seems pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty
But yeah, so there's that deck. I'm gonna keep working on it. The other deck that I played to a decent amount of success is the Victor Lee deck.
Mm-hmm.
I played it and I lost 2 games immediately, and I was like, this deck sucks. I don't know how anybody wins with it. And then Termund got to rank 3 with it, like solely with that, and I was like, all right, fine. So I went back and played it on stream, and I was like, all right, we're gonna learn this deck. And then I never lost with it. I just won for like almost 2 hours straight.
Yeah. Okay. So I've heard this story. Have you played with it since?
Yes.
And
50% win rate since over like 4 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. People
Yeah.
gotta stop
like,
giving
we're still way
stats
up,
over there.
but-
Like fucking like Jay Sensational's like, oh yeah, I'm like 70% on that deck. I'm like, oh yeah, we're talking about. He's like, yeah,
4 games.
he's like
baby.
7
Yeah.
games. Like what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Like, that's not meaningful.
Yeah.
But the problem is like it's really hard for I can't sit there and play a deck a bunch yet because I have to make content.
And there's just
Right.
so many also.
So like I'm just bouncing around. There's so many right now. Yeah, there's so many. So I'm just bouncing around a bunch. And so now that Aphelios week is over, I will get to actually like sit down and play stuff. I'm gonna be gone this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Monday is gonna be when I'm like kind of pushing more for ladder. I'm gonna find a deck I really like when I come back, and I'm gonna be like, okay, this is the deck.
Time to get to work, do some climbing. Speaking of which, we're bringing some leads. One, $500 tournament, probably tomorrow by the time you guys see this. Saturday, 9 a.m. Sign up, masteringruneterra.com by GG Tour. Come, support, love. I will be casting. One of us will be a bad friend and having fun by a lake. But Akato will be there. So we will be upgrading. And okay, are we done with the ladder now? Before I get on to point number 2?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, because I think we should have led with, because people know we're going to talk about this, that yesterday we got to participate in a roundtable with the Riot devs that are working on the next patch, the one that comes out at the end of April, and it was fucking cool. What do you think of that whole experience?
A lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
One, it was awesome to be let in and to give feedback.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
I feel like we have a lot of valuable insight, and I think sometimes we have valuable insight.
I mean, I know I do.
I think
you guys.
we just ranted a bunch. It's kind of we had a lot of people in that call, and everyone has an opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool to be let in, and it was nice to hear the thought process of things, and then be like, okay, well, what about this, right? And then
And I think they got a lot of value out of it. Also, I went and dropped into the. There was 2 calls actually. There was one at 6. I went and dropped into it, and so there was one change in our call. That everyone basically was like, nope, that's no good.
Oh, yeah.
That's no good.
Uh-huh.
And it's I'm gonna circle back around to it. Anyway, so I went to the 6 o'clock call, it came back up, and sure enough, the reaction was the exact same. It was like,
Whoa!
No, what? No.
Are you sure about this?
Yeah. And then one of the devs was like, oh, okay. You know what? I'm kind of glad that you guys had the same result, because it was like, sometimes someone will speak up and then they kind of like lead the, people will follow that thought
everyone
or whatever.
Goes, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that had they published this certain change, I think it would have been a pretty large mistake, and it would have been a pretty big problem, and it probably would have got hot fixed. It's really interesting to me that none of them seem to know that, and it was rather obvious. All of us, every single, even down to the casual players, or more casual, were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I mean, I told him, I was like, hey, if you like tested this and you're sure it's okay, then like, yeah, rip it. But I don't know. I need a lot of assurance that this was like going to be fine because I don't think it would be.
Yeah.
I feel bad. We're like teasing the viewers.
Yeah, c'est la vie. Well, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that now. We signed NDAs. I'm not getting sued, so we're telling you as much as we possibly can. And yeah, there's some other changes coming to the game, which I thought were really awesome. I'm really looking forward to them.
Yeah, things that you would not expect.
Yeah. And the thing that I really like also is that it kind of felt to me like things were kind of like it was getting phoned in for a while. You know, it was just like, here's a patch, and we sometimes you do good, sometimes you don't. Here's some more cards other month, and then like, where's the like, I don't know, like really trying to make stuff awesome and better and push the envelope and so this you could see some of these changes that you guys will see at the end of the month. It took them a long time to like figure out and I don't know, implement and you know go through and so I like that it shows that like they're putting a lot of time and work and effort into the game, because I guess we don't get to see a lot of it, right? We don't get to see a lot of the work that goes on behind the scenes. And then one other thing that
it was also
go.
Funny to hear them talk so much about how much work they put into a relatively small change.
Yeah.
Right? Like from pitching it to like working through how it would affect things to like one very small change was like mountains of work.
Yeah.
Right. And it was funny to hear them talk about it like that. When on our side, we're like, it's just like
the thing.
It's just like a keyword. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And after coming out of that, I really hope we have more. I think we will for future patches. And what a lot of people want, myself especially, want to have like talks with them about like the direction of the game and things to make it better and like things that can be done, which would be awesome. Hopefully it happens one day. But one of the big takeaways I kind of had, or like, I don't know, maybe this is just me, but I sort of feel that like the reason that like more stuff isn't like kind of happening or happening faster is actually like the technical side of things. Because now that we know how long and how it, like, for instance, when they wanted to update the date for seasonals, they had to wait for the patch to do that. I just assumed they could just like boop, 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 go in there and like just change that information. But it's like a page or whatever. And so you have to like update the whole fucking program. And so they like waited for the patch. It was like a month away or whatever. So we just had the wrong date on there for forever.
There's a problem with a lot of that has to do with mobile. You have to get your things approved or whatever to put it on like mobile, like the Play Store, and the game's mirrored, right? It's the same. Mobile and,
yeah. I do that, but I never thought about how that affects wanting to make changes. Yeah, interesting. But the other thing also is though stuff like cross shard play. Like we got rid of cross shard play because they said basically it was like getting in the way of other stuff. It was like a technical issue they couldn't get over. And so it seems to me, and also like when you hear about the kind of time it takes them to code things and make changes, it seems to be like some of the biggest problems they have might be from like the dev side, which is not surprising if you think about it. Like, look how many freaking games they got. League, massive. They got Valorant, massive. They got TFT, massive. We have LOR. They're building the fighting game. They're building the MMO game. Who knows what else they got? That's like 7 giant freaking games. The amount of development, like, you know, minds that you would freaking need to do all that stuff. It's no wonder they're like maybe kind of stretched thin or like don't quite have all of the resources they need. Or maybe it's built on spaghetti code. I don't know these things, but that seemed to be, to me, was like one of the bigger things that like, even if they wanted to do a lot of awesome stuff, maybe they just couldn't because they couldn't actually implement it. Did you get that sense at all?
I've been telling you that for a long time.
Oh. All right.
And then, yeah, I remember like all the times there would be like, oh, well, let's just put this in. And I'm like, well, I mean, it does cost money and like, it does a lot. And they are putting these and you'd be like, just put it in the game. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they don't have money. Okay.
They do have money. Yeah. But yeah, Yeah, no, I'm excited about the stuff coming. Looking forward to it. I hope we get to do more of these. This was really cool.
Yeah, so cool, so cool. And one thing that I want to touch on is that I was a little concerned. I'm like, this seems like an unfair advantage for the people that know about some of the changes that might. By the way, we don't know all of them, and like
Might even
or
happen.
might.
Yeah.
I thought it might give us like an unfair advantage, which I was a little like uneasy about. Because like you gotta, I'm all about keeping the integrity of like the tournament scene. Even though I'm on this side of it, because I know if I wasn't, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell? These guys get to know. But the amount of stuff that's changing, it's like and without being able to test all the cards and stuff, there's no way. There's no way you know what's actually good or what's not, and like trying to predict stuff. Like, look at this last patch. It was like, like could you test Mono Shurima to see if it was good? Like, no. Like, you couldn't. It was not the same deck, and like the other decks would all be different, and like even if you knew Mono Shurima was coming, or like the changes that help Mono Shurima, it's still like the changes to a 0 or whatever. So that I was, I don't know, kind of happy about, or felt better about.
Yeah. Moving on from that, unless you have anything else to add really quick.
Let's go.
Runeterra Academy League started again. That is the team-based Legend Runeterra League put on by Runeterra Academy. Last time we made it to the top 8, and then I don't know, like lost in top.
All I know
we lost in top
is we
8 or something.
crushed the Swiss rounds.
Yeah,
did a very good job, and then we went to the top 16. I didn't get to play because Kever crushed them.
We won one. We won the top 16.
Kever crushed the top 16. I wanted to go first because I knew Kever was gonna blow them out. He insisted on going first, and then in the top 8, I sat out, and then for some reason we were out of the tournament. So let's just say I'm not real big on sitting this time. Let me tell you. And so we're first off against who do we play the first round?
I don't know their name. I played Ian Noguera.
Is a Hydra, right?
Probably. I have no idea.
I was joking. Is Black Boss on that team?
I don't know. I'm not the person to ask. Bro, I just show up.
I thought they were like the super busted Brazilian team.
I think Finney's on it.
Yeah, Finney. I played Finney.
And Ian Noguera.
I
don't do any like. I have no idea. I don't do any reaction content to like Runeterra Academy. People would make like tier lists for the teams, and they'd react on like the group draws. And I will never do anything like that because I don't know who people are.
I went and watched.
I know who like Black Box is, right?
I went and watched the draw.
I know the teams,
the team draw, just to try to learn who all the people and all the teams were. But yeah, everyone else seems to know a lot better.
I just check the spreadsheet every week. It's like, oh, we're playing this team. Who am I playing? That's like, and the only reason I even ask that is just so I know who to add.
Yeah. So, how'd you do?
I 2-0'd. Yeah. Inuera brought Pantheon, Caitlyn Ezreal Tribeam, and Aphelios PNZ. I brought PNZ Aphelios Go Hard. Not PNZ Aphelios Go Hard. PNZ Aphelios Traditional Go Hard.
Yeah, traditional Go Hard.
Like a Least Twisted Fate, a couple Catalog of Regrets, Withering Whales and stuff.
I love that deck, and Catalog of Regrets in it like is an affront to everything that I love about that deck.
Yeah, but what it's there for is like Aphelios piles can't beat Pack Your Bags. Like they just don't go big enough to beat Pack Your Bags, right? Okay. Until like too late in the game.
All right.
And you have 3 copies of Vengeance. And so the deck was built to do a specific thing. The lineup was built to do a specific thing. And the third deck was Mono Shurima. I was there to beat Aphelios. I had an Aphelios pile that I felt very favored into other Aphelios decks with. 1, because of my vast amounts of Aphelios experience. And 2, because I think the list was really good. The Go Hard deck. And yeah, Mono Shurima. And my Mono Shurima got banned. And I just 2-0'd Tribeam.
You didn't even get to play against Aphelios.
That's another deck that just can't beat Pack Your Bags. What's up?
So you didn't even play against Aphelios. Well, okay, yeah. So
I mean, once I saw it, I was like, oh, Aphelios and Tribeam, like, cool, right? Like, Aphelios beats Tribeam, and Go Hard has always beat the Tribeam decks.
Yeah, we are good players. I massively outplayed Finney. Oh my god, I took him to school. It was ridiculous.
Did you get really lucky?
Fuck. Did I ever? Poor Finney. Outplayed me like I was a drunken sailor or something. So first I was on Riven Victor against Monostream. That's supposed to be a good matchup. I think I drew 0 champs though, and just like kind of died.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of just sucked.
You're like,
I was like, like, that's not good. So then I'm up against what is it? It's the Ziggs Talia. Ziggs Talia.
Yeah, that deck's good.
I proceed to make definitely some amount of misplays, and he plays very clean from what I can tell. And I'm able to like steal the win, basically, at the end, as the deck does. And then I'm playing Pantheon, which I do not know how to play well and have played very little. And I basically just went Guy, equip Guy, give Guy Overwhelm, have just the perfect amount of pump every time you go to Rite of Arcane him for Xaxes when you like played it like so well. And I just happened to have like just every single amount. And then flip, and then when I attack with Spell Shield for the win, he was one quicksand, and I like just get there before I die.
Didn't get there.
Yeah, I got carried, and Finney's a very good player. I played very well. But that's why you pick those matchups, which is kind of unfair. Hey, so we got to pick the first matchup. So we put me against Finney, because those are supposed to be very good matchups for me.
And they get to pick the other two.
And then they get to pick the other two. But once you like pair off the first like one good one, one bad one, guess what's left over? It's like kind of not, there's not a lot of great stuff. How do you know? Do you flip a coin? How do you know who gets to pick first? You wouldn't know.
I think it's a coin flip. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not asking the right person. This is a mistake.
Nope. Nope. I just show up. Yeah, I think it's like well, something that we do is we usually have two lineups that are relatively similar, and then one that's like way different. So like yours would be the way different one, right? Jay Sensational and I were on very similar lineups that did slightly different things at the end because of our third deck. And yours was like way out in left field as far as the cohesiveness of our three lineups. And that way, so yeah, if we win, we get to go, all right, you there. And then we get to take basically coin flips or whatever. Or good coin flips.
What happens if you just have like three of the same lineup?
I mean, it's pretty decent. But like if they have one person that's really weak to their lineup, if you have 3 anti-control decks and one person brought 3 control decks, 3 anti-control lineups and one person brought the control lineup and they win, nothing happens. You still get to play the anti-control guy. Like it doesn't, I mean, you still get to play the control guy. Like, so, I mean, I guess you're not exploitable, but like,
yeah, because what I'm saying is like when you're building a lineup of 3 decks, you don't go 2 control decks and an aggro deck, right?
No,
it is different though because there's bans involved. So when you're building 3 lineups, why are we going 2 control 1 aggro when we're not? You know what I mean?
Because it's not quite that rock paper scissors, you know. Like your lineup doesn't just lose to the things that we beat or whatever. It's not quite how it works.
Yeah, it's an interesting format.
Honestly, like I think straight up people put too much emphasis on the lineup. Just play good decks.
Really?
Yeah, just play good decks.
I mean,
whatever.
Yeah, there's no arguing with that. Play good decks for sure. Try not to get targeted though. Speaking of which, I got invited today to Fight Night on Monday, so I got to figure out a lineup.
I'll be there.
Oh damn! Snap! First round, bitch. I see you there.
Yeah, it's us and Kever.
And Kever,
because he won the last one.
Damn, son. Let's get What Am I? Kato, Jay Sensational.
Jay Sensational, Hanneke.
We should do that. Oh my god.
Let's get Push Me.
We should definitely push me. We should definitely do an 8-man because like there's probably like Hanneke. There's a lot of people. Sounds like 8-ish. We're getting pretty close to it. We could do an 8-man.
8-ish.
We could do our own fight night just with the Mastering Runeterra Pro Team. And we definitely need to do some pro team versus squad competitions at some point. That'd be a good time. All right, what else we got?
Next match of Runeterra Academy is today.
That's right.
I think.
Yep. I think we got a match
at some point
right
today.
after this.
I don't know when.
Okay, riddle me this. If you were playing on Saturday, what would your lineup be? And or what do you think would be popular?
Aphelios will be popular. I think people will still be hanging on to maybe Yordle and Arms for this weekend.
Yeah. Where do you think Yordle Arms is at now in the meta?
It's fine. I think it's quite good, but like I don't know.
Tristana version.
Aphelios is like
Tristana version fell off a goddamn cliff.
no. Tristana version's worse. Yeah, you play Lulu Fizz right now. Honestly, I think Jay Sensational's lineup is really good. That he brought to Jay Sensational's lineup that was Kever's lineup that he brought and just smurfed Fight Night with, which is very close to what I brought to Runeterra Academy, and that's PNZ Aphelios, traditional Go Hard, and Thresh Aurelion Soul.
Thresh Asoul. You gonna be out here telling the people Thresh Asoul.
You want to play against Aphelios decks? Now you do.
Oh.
Just play Thresh Asoul. And you're also beating Yordle Arms. That was what the lineup's meant to do. It beats Aphelios and it beats Yordle Arms, and that's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
The meta's really changed so much. Hey. Speaking of what, shout out Sunny. You pronounce it Sunny, right? Snooey? Sunny? It's Sunny.
I pronounce it Sunny. I don't know if that's
anyways, he tweeted out, he was like, I don't about the patch. He was like, yeah, I don't think these changes are going to do very much. Like in a week, everyone will be like, what the hell? And I was like, bro, can't disagree more. See you in a week or whatever. Yeah. So just today he was like, whoa, meta's insane. You can play anything. I was like, has it been a week already? Question mark tweet.
Yeah. You have like a screenshot of that. Yeah. There's a lot of people with that sentiment. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, it's not going to change anything. And most of us, I feel like we're not those people.
No. And I'll go one step further. You guys were all, I'm still going to be the best thing. It's absurd. Just on a version, dead.
Yeah.
Dead in the ground. Dead. All 5 of you versus me. I take that W. And Fizzlulu is still there, still kicking ass, and it will. And I'm like,
still there, still tier 1.
Kind of okay with it though. It's not like a menace. It's not like it's not like it was last season where it was just the best, right? Not even close. Yeah. So I called that. Yeah. I feel like I'm pretty good at these. I feel like I get these right quite a bit. And literally all 5 of you were like, fuck off. You know what we're talking about. So just wait for Tuesday. What am I?
Lulu Fizz is still really good.
What am I doesn't watch these, so I'm going to talk some shit about him. Boy, I'm going to come for you. What am I? Miss you. I hope you feel better. Wait, that wasn't talking. Never mind. I'm bad.
He's been sick for a bit.
I'm bad at talking shit.
Yeah. So that's probably what I'd bring. Pretty exploitive lineup. More exploitive than I usually go. But honestly, I don't know what's actually that good yet. I know what decks I'm winning with, right?
It's going to be wild too, right? There's going to be a bunch of everything. So comfort picks probably knowing your matchups.
Comfort picks are good.
Knowing just what your win condition is. Yeah, if you're picking up some Aphelios, Vi deck and you haven't put reps in, you're going to have a long day. Or a very short day.
You might struggle. Yeah, might be a short day for you. So that's what I got.
How much Mono Shurima do you think there's going to be?
Not as much as people think.
I think there's going to be a decent amount because of the difficulty to play Aphelios and the less difficulty to play Mono Shurima. For instance,
I mean, I brought it to Runeterra Academy. I'd bring it to a Saturday tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very fucking powerful, and it's not that hard to play, right? And anytime you have that combination, those decks are going to be popular, and it's kind of fun and new too. Don't forget that. Yeah,
it is a good time, and every time you roll into Aphelios, you're just like,
yeah, right. Fuck you, Moon Boy. Get wrecked.
Yeah, I mean, people are gonna be bringing darkness. People are gonna be bringing Field of Rush and stuff like that.
Field of Rush, yeah.
And so you just play Mono Shurima and laugh all the way to the bank.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, well, I think we'll wrap it up there. Any parting words for the people? I feel like we're forgetting something. I don't know. Go sign up for the tournament. Have some fun. Enjoy yourselves. We will see you next week. Bye.